The following program is rated M for mature.
Are you ready? Let's go!
Ortiz drives into deep center. Sizemore hit it back. It's up. Down! Ortiz does it again. 3-run home run. Red Sox win. Walk off Big Poppy.
Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler.
Pierce buries it right in Harrington's face.
What's up, everybody? Welcome here to the first ever episode of the Boston Bias Show, brought to you by the Save Saturdays Network, here live from the Save Saturdays studio in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm sitting here with Ethan Petrick and Big Bets Bents. They're in the living room. We are about to record the actual Save Saturdays show after this show because I may be a little late. This is supposed to record on open on Wednesdays, and it's Thursday. So I'm a little late, but that's what I'm known for. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm a little nervous. I don't have a lifeline. I don't have Ethan to take over the mic where I can sit there and just kind of chill. So it's going to be interesting today. I don't know who the idiot was that's letting me have a mic by myself for a full 30 minutes to talk about Boston sports. Was that me? The better question is who let me do that? Because I feel like that was a mistake. That was Ethan. So either way, you guys are going to enjoy it. And how are we going to start it off today? By the first segment of every Boston Bias episode, your drink of the week. And this week's drink of the week is a good old cold Busch Latte. You'll love to hear that sound. This is rated R, M for mature. So if your kid's scrolling through Safe Saturdays Network, skip past the Boston Bias Show because this is for adults only. First drink of the Busch Latte. Wonderful, refreshing, great time. It's a good drink to have when you're about to watch a good old day of Boston sports. Speaking of Boston sports and sports in general, this week is a great week of sports. Tonight, if you're a Boston fan, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Thursday Night Football in Chicago. Tom Brady, after a 5-touchdown performance, is going live tonight. He's going to tear it up against the Chicago Bears. Speaking of Tom Brady, last week he became the oldest quarterback to throw for 5+ touchdowns in a game. That'll probably be my TB12 seconds for this week. But you heard it here first on the Boston Bias Show. A couple other headlines that's going on right now. Yesterday, Mookie Betts' birthday. He turned 28 years old. So if you're a Boston Red Sox fan, don't start crying. It's going to be okay. We all miss him. Another line, Stephen Gilmore tested positive. You probably already know this. The Pats had to cancel practice the last 2 days, shut down all facilities. But as of today, no new COVID cases for the Patriots. So it's looking like we're going to play against the Broncos this Sunday. I sure hope so, because that's an easy dub. And I like easy dubs. Next, we got Jaylen Brown received the NBA Cares Community Assist Award. No surprise to anyone, Jaylen Brown, a stand-up individual. And just like the Boston Celtics, we not only create good basketball and are the best basketball team in the league, but we create better men over in Boston. Speaking of the Celtics, I have read some things about Isaiah Thomas possibly making a comeback to Boston next season. Now, I don't know how you feel about that. We did do Isaiah Thomas dirty last couple years, but I'm not a fan of that move. We are our guard-packed team. And next week, we're not going to talk about the Celtics this week at all because I got so much ranting to do on the Patriots and Red Sox that we're just not going to fit it into 30 minutes. So we're going to have a special guest, my friend Mason Roth, big Boston Celtics fan. He's going to come on next week, and we're going to talk all about the Boston Celtics, maybe a little about the Boston Bruins. We'll see. And we will surely be talking about that move and future Celtics moves this offseason. Finally, for your headlines, MLB tonight. Big night. Possibility that all 4 of the ALDS games, all the series end tonight. We got the Athletics and the Astros playing right now, end of the 5th. Astros up 7-4. Strong possibility that series ends tonight. We got the Dodgers-Padres tonight. If you all saw the game yesterday, probably the best postseason game so far. Cody Bellinger proving not only can he swing the stick, but the man can use his glove as well. Probably saving the game, robbing the young stud, Fernando Tatis Jr., of a 2-run shot that would have put them up late in the game. We also saw a lot of competitive throwing the gloves, a lot of yelling. And the reason I really liked last night's game between the Dodgers and Padres, because if you are a Red Sox fan, you probably loved it. Loved seeing Manny Machado crying like a little bitch at the end. I know, I love to watch it. It's why I'm a big Dodgers fan, because they got Joe Kelly. I love Joe Kelly. They brought him in to close the game out. It was great. We all hate Manny Machado. Screw that dude. Like the Yankees. Speaking of the Yankees tonight, I'll probably be watching this game or the Bucks game. Who knows? Tonight, play the Rays. They're down 2-1. If you're a Red Sox fan, tune in, watch this game. Watch the Tampa Bay Rays shove it to the New York Yankees and watch them miss out on another ring again. You love to see it. My perfect year in sports doesn't even have to end with the Boston title in any of the sports. That's whatever. You don't win every year. But I would just love it if every year the Yankees and LeBron James lost. If that could just happen every year, I would be just so happy. And it doesn't sound like I'm going to get the LeBron James one this year because it's not looking good. But if the Yankees lose in the first round, I'm still happy. So I'm a big Tampa Rays fan tonight, just like all you Boston sports fans are as well. Finally, MLB, Braves, Marlins. Final as of like 20 minutes ago, Atlanta advancing on. Probably the easiest draw they had against the trash Miami Marlins. I don't even know how they made it this far, but they did. Congrats to them for making the postseason. But the Braves moving on. And then, of course, the Lakers and Heat. Lakers up 3-1. Screw LeBron. Besides the point, that is your headlines of the week. Before we move into the first segment, you guys also have probably heard of the Safe Saturday show, the OG show with Ethan Petrick, myself, and Big Bets Bents, as well as Takeout Tuesdays, Safe Saturdays airing on Saturday at 10 a.m. Catch us this weekend's Takeout Tuesdays at 2 p.m. every Tuesday. Check that out. Takeout Tuesdays. Last we just did Hero 88, a Chinese place in Lincoln. Great sushi. So far, I think it's the highest rated restaurant we've had on a Takeout Tuesday so far, and I think we are planning next Tuesday we are going to De Leon's, one of the greatest Mexican places in Lincoln. So check that out. Both great shows. A lot of fun. Anyway, moving on, and the first segment we're going to talk about the Patriots, but I watched a little Colin Cowherd today, and there's something I really love that he said, and I just want to say on the show here. This has nothing to do with the Patriots or Boston sports, but it has to do with the NFL. I want to give my top 5 NFL quarterbacks in the league right now because I think Colin Cowherd made a great point. Number 1, I have Russell Wilson as the best quarterback in the league right now. I don't know who disagrees with that, unless you're just a delirious Chiefs fan, which they all are. He is by far the best quarterback right now. He's the smartest quarterback. He's the most elusive. He is honestly just probably the perfect quarterback because he has the mind of a Tom Brady, but he can run around and be elusive like Lamar Jackson, and it's just almost impossible to stop. And right now, he's having so far the best season of his career, despite no weapons on the Seahawks. You compare him to the Chiefs. Chiefs have better receivers. They have better running backs. They have a better offensive line by far. And yet I'm looking at Russell Wilson is just dominating everyone. He's going deep on Stephen Gilmore. That doesn't happen. And Colin Cowherd said that exact thing. And I couldn't agree more. The difference between Mahomes and Russell Wilson is just look at the 2 Patriots games. Russell Wilson tore up Bill Belichick, and he usually does. Bill Belichick has Patrick Mahomes figured out. Every time Patrick Mahomes plays Bill Belichick, he's scoreless in the first half. And so that tells me that Russell Wilson despite what's ever thrown at him, because we know Bill throws a lot at him. It's not like Bill's a bad defensive guy, but Russell Wilson can make adjustments drive by drive, play by play. He can see things and make plays. It tells me that Patrick Mahomes can't do that yet. He has got a lot of talent. He's got the arm talent. He's got the legs. He's got the talent around him, but he has to wait. He can't make a mid-drive adjustment. He can't make an end-of-quarter adjustment. He has to get in the locker room with Andy Reid and talk to the coaching staff, and then he can do it. And I thought that was just, I don't think I've ever agreed with Colin Moore on something when he said that. And so I just want to say that. Aaron Rodgers coming at number 2 for me. He's just lighting it up right now. And number 3 is where I might catch some flack, and I know I will from all of Kansas City, but I don't really care what they think. I might catch some flack from Ethan. No, I don't know. Maybe Ryan will disagree with me on this. I have Josh Allen at my number 3 of quarterbacks right now. Not. I don't care about the rest of the years. I'm looking at this year so far. I have Josh Allen coming at number 3, just because if you compare his season so far to Lamar and Mahomes' MVP seasons, he is already surpassing their stats. He is undefeated with a less of a team compared to the Ravens and the Chiefs. And so I think the real test, we'll see what he does against New England, against that defense, because he has to play him twice. That'll really tell us what kind of quarterback he is. But right now, I think Josh Allen is just as much in the MVP race as Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. Number 4, we got Patrick Mahomes, obviously, and then at 5, we got Lamar Jackson. So I just wanted to say the top 5 there. I wanted to make that quite clear, and it's just because Colin put that in my head this morning, and I just wanted to echo what he said. Moving on into segment 1, we got the New England Patriots. First, I'd like to talk about the Kansas City game. And before I talk about the Kansas City game and Brian Hoyer and referees, I just need to take a big drink because I need it. Because I may have witnessed the worst call in NFL history. Ethan's heard all about it. He heard all about it when I was in my TV screaming. Probably woke the neighbors up. But you know what? I don't care. Because that was just, I was sick to my stomach. I wanted to throw something. Patrick Mahomes clearly threw an interception. We're down 6-3. We'd been on Kansas City's side of the field, looking to score. Maybe not a touchdown, but a field goal. We at least go tied into halftime, and we get the ball in the second half. Probably changes the ball game. Patrick Mahomes completely was sucking the whole first half. Really, the whole game, Mahomes wasn't anything special. His only 2 touchdown passes were jet sweeps to Tyreek Hill. So I don't really... And he didn't even have 250 passing yards. So I don't think Mahomes was really that great. Probably the worst call ever. And then Brian Hoyer. I don't know. I don't know what to say about Brian Hoyer. This man's been in the league for like 1,000 years. He's been backing up Tom Brady for 500 of those years. And yet the man just seems like he looks like a rookie quarterback out there. And the second half, the guy takes a sack, ends the half when we were driving. Clear rookie mistake. Something I don't even think Jarrett Stidham would. I don't think Jarrett Stidham would have made that mistake. I mean, some bad interceptions from Hoyer. And his stat line didn't look bad. And he had us in the game, but that's because our defense, for one, was completely shutting the Chiefs out. And our run game, like it has been all year, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, was incredible. All 4 of our top backs going off. So I don't think that was much of Brian Hoyer, but more Belichick and McDaniel's play calling, the run game of the defense, kind of carrying his ass all the way through the game until he got benched by Jarrett Stidham. And I thought Jarrett Stidham was excellent. Despite an interception deep, it was late in the game, we're losing, he's trying to create something. He had an open receiver, and he just threw a bad ball. That's all it was. But you know what I saw to Jarrett Stidham? Probably the best throw I've seen all year from a Patriots quarterback. His first touchdown of his career to N'Keal Harry in the end zone. Dropped an absolute dime. I thought that was just wonderful. And I was, if you watched Save Saturdays before, I've been on the J train for a long time now. And I wanted him to start the season before we got Cam Newton. I mean, now, obviously, Cam Newton's going to play, and Cam Newton's been excellent so far. But, and this is going to play into what I was thinking next. Dwayne Haskins got benched after a career performance, 71 completion percentage, 314 yards passing, 90.4 passer rating, no turnovers. No interceptions. I don't know if he had a fumble or not. He has been very rocky. But with getting pushed to the third string, I really would like the Patriots to make a move for Dwayne Haskins because they could get him very cheap. And as we've seen with Cam Newton coming in, Belichick and McDaniels are excellent play callers. Our run game is excellent. Our defense is excellent. Clearly, we're better than the Washington Redskins, who have just absolutely destroyed Dwayne Haskins' career thus far. Drafted by a Jay Gruden who was on a hot seat, who didn't even want him in the first place. He literally said that after the draft. He goes, I didn't even really want this guy, but they took him anyway at 14. So he wasn't even wanted in Washington. A horrible defense, horrible offensive line, shift in new coaching. Ron Rivera clearly doesn't want him. And so I would love Dwayne Haskins, a big-bodied guy, a Big Ben-like kind of thrower, big arm. We saw his big arm in college, and we've seen it in the NFL. Got to improve the turnovers got to happen. But if there's anyone that can improve a quarterback's ability to turn the ball over, it's Bill Belichick. The guy is known for disciplined football. The discipline so far this year has been incredible. Only 2 offensive penalties all season, and those both came against the Chiefs. So if Dwayne Haskins can work anywhere, I think it's in New England, and I'd love to see him come to New England because I don't know. Cam Newton, he's been excellent. He's only on a 1-year deal. But my thing on Cam Newton is I would love to see him, as much as I've criticized him, he's going to make a lot of money this offseason based on how he played this year and how he continues to play when he comes back from COVID. And I don't really want to spend that much money on Cam Newton, an aging star in this league. Now, if he were 22 years old, I'd say, yeah, all aboard. Here you go, Cam. Here's a piece of paper. You write a number on it, and we'll pay it. He's getting old. He's had a lot of injuries in his career. He's been great thus far. But what's saying he doesn't have another big injury, and we're forced to go back to Brian Hoyer at quarterback? I don't want to see that happen. Dwayne Haskins is 23 years old. He's got a lot of years before him left in his career. And you get him a year or two with Belichick and McDaniels, and I'd like to see it. And hey, here's the thing. If it doesn't work, we give up a 3rd-round pick for him? We have like 50 picks a year. I think we'll be fine without the 3rd-round pick. We went without a 1st-round pick when Brady was absolutely screwed by Roger Goodell, the devil himself. And we won the Super Bowl that year. So I would give a 2nd-round pick for Dwayne Haskins. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's whatever. So in terms of next season, the offseason, that's one move I'd like to see. And that was another thing that just popped in my head because I read it this morning. Some rumors about the Patriots going to get him. So I'd like to see that happen. Like we mentioned, COVID shut the Patriots down, but we are looking to come back to Sunday against the Broncos. And just this season for the Patriots, the running game, I think, has been the most surprising. I don't want to say the surprising thing, but it's been carrying us along with this defense. And I don't want to say surprising because if you watched in 2018 Tom Brady's last Super Bowl against the LA Rams, that running game kind of carried us through the playoffs. Tom was great, but Sony Michel was kind of the workhorse in that playoffs along with James White. And so that was the first time I think we saw this New England what this Patriots offense was going to look like with or without Tom Brady until we get another guy in the backfield that can consistently throw for 300 yards and not turn the ball over. The running game was kind of where we were headed. And the offensive line, our offensive line is top 5, I'd say, in the league. And so it could support a heavy run game. And so far this season, we have 3 guys, Cam Newton, Rex Burkhead, and Sony Michel, all over 25 carries. We have 4 guys at Damian Harris that are over 100 yards rushing. So we got a lot of guys that can run the football, that we can do a lot of jet sweep action, a lot of trickeration stuff. We can have healthy legs on any down when we need it. Cam Newton, 35 carries, 149 yards. He's added a lot to the run game. Another threat that Tom Brady couldn't run, obviously, despite being a 1,000-yard rusher in his career. But I like the way this offense is heading, and that's why I'm okay with bringing in Dwayne Haskins or some other quarterback, because we don't need Cam Newton. Cam Newton's not a prolific passer. He never has been. Yeah, he can run the football, but I think with this Patriots run game, if we can keep this offensive line, McDaniels keep drawing up great plays, using the play-action pass, I think we can bring in a lesser quarterback, a younger quarterback, more experienced, and kind of groom the offensive around him. Another thing that surprised me so far this year, J.J. Taylor, the undrafted free agent out of Arizona, 16 carries, 70 yards. He really proved himself in the Oakland Raiders win, and he's kind of been showing up so far. Damon Harris, 17 carries, 100 yards, kind of in the same boat. The second-year man out of Alabama. Neither one of them getting a lot of carries, but they have impressed me so far. Now, I don't think they'll be RB1 or RB2 ever, but it's nice to have 4 or 5 backs that can go get us an 8-yard run, 10-yard run. Give Burkhead and Michelle a little bit of a rest, and I think that is huge going in down the rest of the season, because with COVID and the way the NFL's gone so far with injuries, I don't want Michelle taking 20 carries a game. I don't want Rex Burkhead touching the ball 5 times a drive. I don't want that. I want to be able to sub guys in and let them go make plays too. Belichick, McDaniels, of course, have adjusted perfectly to this season. Like I said, they've used a lot of guys that are not popular anywhere else, a lot of guys we got for cheap, and they're doing a lot with them. And I think we talked about this on the Save Saturdays podcast, the last one. Who won the departure, Belichick or Brady? I think they both won. I said that on the podcast last time. Brady proving he's won so far. He is leading the Bucs now first in the division. Just had 5 passing touchdowns. Belichick has been excellent so far. The Patriots, probably, they're way better than what I thought they'd be. Yeah, they have Cam Newton. But if you go back to the Save Saturdays podcast before, I kind of had them around the 500 mark, maybe making playoffs. Now, I have them in third place in the AFC, finishing in the AFC behind the Chiefs and the Ravens. So I think Belichick and McDaniels are proving they can do a lot with anything, and they are just excellent at calling games defensively and offensively. They're a great pair together, and I'm excited to see what they can do. My biggest letdown so far, and this will be the final thing I talk about the Patriots, Julian Edelman. I think we all saw the dropped interception, pick 6. And it's even last year, Julian Edelman led the league in drop passes, not helping Tom Brady in his weapon problem. But it's shown me that Julian Edelman is not a wide receiver number 1. And I think a lot of Patriots fans, including myself, have been trying to make the argument that he is a wide receiver number 1. And when put in that position last year and this year, it's shown that he isn't. And he's shown that he's aging. And he's forever a wide receiver 2 or 3. He's a great playmaker, but he's not the top option. And we've seen that. And we've seen that because Cam Newton, Julian's not even his favorite target. N'Keal Harry has just as many catches as Julian Edelman does this year. And N'Keal Harry's he's only in his second year. This is his first year actually playing. If Cam Newton had a legit number 1 other than Edelman, I mean, that guy I think he'd clearly be targeted way more than Julian Edelman. So I love Julian. Don't get me wrong. He's done a lot of things for us. But I think the Edelman era is coming to an end. I think we need to start looking at other options at wide receiver, getting a new number 1 receiver, or trying to push N'Keal Harry into that position and moving on from Edelman, or at least pushing him down to the depth chart a little bit. But we got to change something, because this receiving core it's all right, but I think the Edelman era is coming to an end in New England. You hate to see it. I love him to death. But he's just not what he used to be, and he's just not a wide receiver number 1. And that's all about the Patriots. I can sit here and talk about the Patriots all day, and the horrible calls 2 years in a row at the helm of the Kansas City Chiefs, and how the NFL is quite obviously grooming Mahomes and trying to make him the greatest of all time because they're clearly trying to save his career. But we're done talking about that. We'll talk about it another time. Instead, we're taking a small break from sports, and I'm going to bring you, shed some light on the Save Saturdays Network. Monday at 2 p.m., we got Offsides with Ethan Petrick, starring Ethan Petrick, executive producer Ethan Petrick. He's going to give you the NHL talk every Monday, brought to you by the Save Saturdays Network. So tune in Monday at 2 for that. And not only that, see, Save Saturdays is just so versatile this way. We can talk about anything and everything all the time, anytime, whenever we want, because we're Save Saturdays and we're better than you. But we got Drive the Greens with Big Bets Bents. I'm sure you've heard him on the Save Saturdays podcast. If you would just invest your money into Big Bets Bets, a lot of B's there, he would probably give you a better return than the stock market in the S&P 500. So put your retirement fund on Big Bets Bents because he's made some great predictions thus far. Check him out Wednesday at 2 p.m. He's going to bring you the golf and NASCAR, and I'm hearing maybe a little soccer action now. Big Germany guy. But he's going to be bringing you that Wednesday at 2. And finally, Save Saturdays U Friday at 2 p.m. Brought to you by the one and only Ethan Petrick, starring Ethan Petrick, executive producer Ethan Petrick. And speaking of Ethan Petrick, if you loved the intro to today's show here on the first ever episode of the Boston Bias Show, executive producer Ethan Petrick and I grinded last night making the intro. We put a lot of hard work into it. And when I say we put a lot of hard work into it, I mean I sat behind him and watched him do it while I was playing on my phone as he did his magic on the keyboard. So if you want more of that, let us know, because I'm sure Ethan would love to just absolutely blow your mind away with more. He's shaking his head no, but we all know it. If you give him the views, he'll do whatever you want. He's a view hoe. If you buy some merch, we'll Save Saturdays. We'll do whatever you want. Anyways, go check out all the shows, and of course, the OG Save Saturdays show on Saturday, which we're going to record here in a little bit. So get ready for that. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little tired. I need another drink. Not having Ethan and Ryan, it's kind of tough. I'm kind of losing my breath all the time. All right, guys, we're sitting at 27 minutes, and I haven't even gotten into segment 2. So we're going to have to be quick with this Boston Red Sox talk. And that's what segment 2 is. We're going to talk about the Boston Red Sox and the terrible season we just got done with. And if you follow the Boston Red Sox, I think we all know what needs to happen. We need to get some pitching. I've never seen a Red Sox team have worse pitching. And the offense was surprisingly average this season. Yeah, it was. Martinez, Rafael Devers, definitely not their normal selves. The biggest surprise is Andrew Benintendi. Before injury was like 5 for 45. It was some horrible stat like that. Clearly not himself. So just all around as a team, we were not what we have been in the past, even from our star-studded players. But I still like the offense. I think bring in a few pieces here and there, and I think our offense is going to return. JD Martinez, he's not going to be like he has this year. He's going to come back. Everyone's going to come back. It's fine. We're going to be fine. The Red Sox, we don't dominate every season. We never have. We're the team. We go win a title. We wait 4 years. We reload, and we kick the Yankees' ass every 4 years, and we go win a title. It's what we do. You can't always stay atop. Because here's the thing. Would you like to be the New York Yankees right now? Yeah, they go into the season in top 5 in the power rankings every year, but then they choke at the end. Or you can be like the Red Sox and win a title every 4 years. I like option number 2, if I'm being honest. And you can, when it comes down to Red Sox and Yankees, since 2000, I'd say that's the current era of baseball we're in. The Red Sox, I think they have 4 World Series titles to the Yankees 1. I don't care what the Yankees did in the 1920s because that was like 400 years ago. It was in biblical times. The Red Sox they are the best team in the division. Maybe not this season, but in the last 20 years, the Red Sox have been better than the Yankees. And so I'm not worried about New York. I think the Red Sox take a year or two, build the farm system, slowly get some pitchers, build up the bullpen, and come back in 2 to 3 years with a roster that can just absolutely kick the shit out of New York. And I would love to see it. I'm okay with 2 down years. I'm okay with it. We got Alex Verdugo in the trade with Mookie Betts. Alex Verdugo, who I didn't know who he was. He was a young prospect coming into the season. A lot of promise around him, but he came out and he ended up being our best batter on the season. So definitely let's keep him involved. I haven't seen a lot out of him defensively, so we're going to have to change that to Boston in the past 5 years, say 10 years, when you throw in Jacoby Ellsbury. We are very well known for good defensive outfilders, and we always have been. We always have a lot of speed. And so I'd like to keep Alex Verdugo and see what we can do. I can think he can be a big offensive threat in the future. Nathan Eovaldi, another thing. I really liked him. Say what you want about our pitching, but Eovaldi came into this season as the number 3 pitcher behind Chris Sale and Rodriguez. Both of the first 2 go down. He gets shot up to the ace position in like 2 days before the season even started, and he was excellent. I don't care what you think. I don't care. He finished the season with a 3.72 ERA, a 4-2 record as our number 1. I would love to see more Nathan Eovaldi in the future, a guy that started out his career from the bullpen being critical in the 2018 World Series title. He is a guy that I'd love to say he doesn't cost a lot. He has proven that he can step up when he needs to and pitch a great game. He's got a really high velocity fastball in this league. You got to have that. And he's tough. He's gritty. He'll go out there and he will grind. And I love it. I love everything about Nathan Eovaldi. Bring him back. Get him some other pitchers. He's not going to be a forever ace for us. But man, I'd love to see him in the back end of that rotation for the next 5 years. I would love it. I love everything about Nathan Eovaldi. And just like Andrew Benintendi, I mentioned the average offense. I'm excited for this Red Sox team. Because, yeah, we only won 24 games. But we're much more talented than 24 wins. We're much more talented than a 500 team. We made a lot of moves. We're moving Andrew Miller out of the bullpen. We got some young prospects. I think we should take 2 years, build it up, and come back strong after that. Because right now, I just don't think we can compete with the Blue Jays, with the Yankees, with our division. Hell, I don't even where the hell did the Orioles come out? They came out of nowhere and actually looked decent with a horrible roster. It's not in the cards for us this year or next year. Give it a few years, build the bullpen, build up a farm system, and come back. Let the trash Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton wither away into averageness and the trash can that they are. And I don't care what you want. I don't really care. Ooh, Will, Giancarlo Stanton has hit 5 straight homers in 5 straight postseason games. Yeah, those are probably the only hits he had all postseason. If you hit a home run every 10 strikeouts, you still suck. And it's showing why the Yankees are about to get beat tonight. Because you hit as many home runs as you want. To win in this league, you got to have everything. You got to have contact, power, defense, pitching. You got to have it all. And the Yankees don't have that. Garrett Cole makes more this season than the entire Tampa Bay Rays payroll. You can't just throw money at a problem. That's why I don't want the Red Sox to become the Yankees. I don't want to just start throwing money at a problem. I'd have loved to have given Mookie Betts his $100,000 billion that he wanted, because you know what? He was worth it, and I'm seeing it now in LA, and it makes me sad every time I see him hit a home run or throw some dude out from third because he's freaking Rocket Man. Probably, I think, one of the best top 5 right fielders of all time going to go down. Definitely the best right fielder in the game right now. Besides the point, we don't want to become the Yankees. Don't just throw money at a problem. They suck. They don't have any pitching. Garrett Cole just got his big money, and what did he do all season? He shit the bed. The dude sucked all year. Oh, and then he's like, oh, the Yankees come out. We got him to perform in October. Is he performing right now? Because I think the Yankees are about to get swept. Not swept. They're about to get beat. And he was kind of average. Tanaka got lit up last night. That's another guy that the Yankees fans are like, oh, he doesn't perform well in the regular season. But come October, the man's going to be special. Yeah, he sucked last night, didn't he? I just don't like the Yankees if you haven't figured that out yet. And you figure that out if you watch the other Safe Saturday shows. But moral of the story, by throwing money at a problem, the Red Sox, we don't want to become the Yankees. So let's just do what we do best. Take a year or two off. Find some grinders, good farm system, and we'll come back and win another title because we are Boston. We are a championship city. And that's my rant. Finally, who will be the manager next season for the Red Sox? I can't tell you. I haven't heard anything. As much as we would all love it, I'd love to see Alex Cora come back, but despite having all of his allegations in Houston and all the sign stealing, I think it's better for both parties if we just part ways forever. He's got a bad juju around him right now, and we don't want him to bring that back to Boston because he comes back to Boston and say we win our first title in a few years, and people are going to want to throw the asterisk right next to the title, and they're gonna hold that against us forever, despite us not even doing anything, nothing wrong. I think let's move on. I think it's good for Alex Cora. I think he should take a year or two off from coaching. He's suspended this year, but he can come back next year. I still think he should take that year off next year and just kind of regroup, get that bad juju off him, and come back. And we'll find a good coach. I haven't heard any replacements. So when I hear of some replacements and get some news out, I'll be the first podcast talking about it. But that is all for the first episode of the Boston Bias Show, brought to you by Safe Saturdays Network and Busch Light. Next week, we only talked Patriots and Red Sox today. I promise you, next week, it's going to be all Celtics. That's what we're going to talk about all week with Mason Roth, our guest. We're going to talk about the NBA season in a review. We're going to talk about the offseason, what I want, what we need. We're going to talk about the terrible loss to the Miami Heat. Maybe even a little Boston Bruins action. Who knows? We're going to talk about all. We'll probably review the Patriots game if we have one this Sunday. Give a little talk about that. But I hope this was a great episode. I had fun, despite being nervous as hell. My stomach was churning the whole time. But I had a great time, and I hope you have a good time too when you're listening to it. So tune in next Wednesday, hopefully at 2 p.m. I'm going to try to have it out by Wednesday. We'll see. But until next time, guys, peace out.